Hey guys, this is AJ the CEO coming at you with a long overdue episode number 5 for the what I like to call church. I don't know why I call it, I put the wrong image up. It's not post-production, it should actually be pre-production, because this is me going through some of the stuff that I'm setting up for my church before. Normally I would do this later on Saturday, but I need to fix this name on here. No, the name is right. I actually got the wrong image. So again, this is church pre-production. This is all the stuff that I'm doing, setting up for my church service on Sunday. So let me bring up my ATEM here. And I guess the whole goal of this was, when I was building out our church media system, there was a lot of stuff that I had to do by myself, and it was kind of hard to get all this information myself. So what I ended up doing is putting all the stuff together, so hopefully this will help you guys do what you need to do without having to go through all the hassles of trying to research all this information, because this is not a final product. I'm still in the process of doing this stuff myself. Actually, when I get some more time, I'm actually going to show you the rig that I've actually built out. Most of the equipment that I have here that I'm using right now, between both cameras, camera 1, camera 2, and everything like that, is what I normally would do to install at a church in their media ministry. And as a refresher, for if this is the first time you're chiming in, is when I started at my church, it was pretty much, they had just built a brand new sanctuary. They had a lot of new technology, but they didn't know, I guess the people who installed it, they installed it, but there were really no quote-unquote technical people there. So I was a contractor as a musician there, and I'd always been into technology and all this other stuff like that. So I ended up starting out by, we had a revival service, and pretty much got 3 camcorders similar to the one that I have right here, the Canon R800. It was, well, actually there were 3 Sony cameras, but they're in the same equivalent. But pretty much started out, have one down a center aisle, one in the front row, and one in the baptismal looking back. And I pretty much took all night, put all those videos together, and made a DVD. And it was the most, and as well as made small little videos, little excerpts, highlight videos for the revival. And it was an area-wide revival of about 8 churches. And out of those 8 churches, that was the first they ever saw anything like that. And I think that's where our pastor, as well as a bunch of us, realized that there's a lot more that our media ministry can do. And that was kind of the mindset that I have with media ministry, is that we are actually an e-missionary ministry, meaning that because of technology and how far and reaching that we can do, we actually have way more power than just turning on the sound system in our church. We can actually take the word, spread it out to areas that no pastor or congregation or missionary staff could ever dream about being able to reach, because technology is everywhere. We can reach places that we don't physically have to go to, because the internet allows us to do that. And that was kind of the whole point of this. And I'm sorry if you see me swatting, there's some fly that just flew around here, but the whole idea is to try and amp up, kick our media ministry up to the next level, so that we can actually embrace and do more than just turning on the sound system. All right, so let me I'm gonna remote into some of the computers that I have at church and go through some of the stuff that I normally do. So let me bring up my browser here, and let's go ahead and cut over to camera, my desktop. Alright, so, and let me, I didn't get a chance to set this up, so let me get my picture-in-picture in here. think you can see me here. Yes. Is that it? Oh, I have the wrong key on. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is walk through what I normally would do on a setup here. Alright, so first off, I have a spreadsheet documenting every single thing, every sermon, every scripture, the speaker, and everything like that. Now, and I have a lot in my head, so I want to make sure don't go shotgunning all over the place. So the very first thing that we do is we want to set up for our live stream that's going to be hosted on our website, as well as going to be hosted on Facebook. We dabbled with a bunch of other places, but right now our congregation is the people who are not at church normally are on Facebook way more than they are on YouTube. So that's what we're focused on. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go here into our web page here. And normally what I try to do is, out of habit, is to, at the end of my church service, is to set this up already for the coming Sunday. It makes it a lot easier to set all that up instead of trying to do it after the fact. So, and I believe I actually already did this, but let's just check. So yeah, I actually did it already. See, we're going to go live on the 16th, which is today, and that is going to be at 10 a.m. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and edit this. And so I have my information in here. There's my key and all this other stuff. And by the time y'all get to this, you don't really have to worry about that. Oh, the key is actually different, so I'm going to change it anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. So we'll come in here and we set up our live stream, and then I come in down here into our embed. I'm going to copy that out, and then I'm going to go to our website. Our website, we use Squarespace for our website. And here on the front page, our live stream is embedded right here, as well as a countdown timer. So what I'm going to do, if I had to do this again, I would go to this section of our page, and in edit, I would just come in here and paste the new code that I just copied from Facebook. That's how I embed it here. So that's on the front page. And I recently started doing this because I didn't want people to have to navigate all the way through, even though there's a link right here. So if you just happen to scroll down, you'll see it's right there. But if you go to live stream, I make that do the exact same thing, but this is a bigger page here, bigger screen with the video. Is on here under a dedicated live stream page. That's the first thing I set up. All right, and we set all that up here. I need to check that code since I just opened that. Alright, that's the first thing. Actually, let me go back, because there was another tool that I like to use. I don't think I can change it here. Yeah, schedule. Here, this image. That happens to be a picture that I took, I think like 2 years ago. It was a really nice picture. At least I feel in church there. So what I use for that is a free tool that I highly recommend, especially if you don't have anyone that is Photoshop savvy and everything like that. I have Photoshop, but honestly my amount of time of using it has gone down, so I haven't been using it that much. But I will come in here into canva.com, and I'll have a list of all these links here as well. Actually, you know what, if you go to my website, AJaytheCEO.com, AJaytheCEO.com, and then you go to the sign up for the email page, and I'll actually make something different. I'll send you a list of all the tools that I use, and that's an ever-growing list of the tools that I use in our media ministry. And I'll again include that in the feed or somewhere in the description. Alright, so I come in here, and you can name anything in here. So I'll say Facebook event cover. No, I'm not doing that. So you know what, I'm just gonna do thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail, even though this isn't going on YouTube, but this is kind of in the specs of what I would do. Alright, so you pick out whatever type of template that you like, and let's just say for giggles I'm gonna make a new one. So I like this. I actually might use this for something that I'm doing later. So what I do is you would take whatever picture and you would just drag it here on this page in this area right here. And let me move my screen so you can see. Alright, so I would just grab and upload whatever picture here, and it pops up over here. Alright, so these are a bunch of pictures that I've already uploaded. So I'm going to just simply, actually no, not drag, just click, no, had it backwards, it was drag, sorry, drag this here, and see now it'll take over the whole screen, and it already has a template that you're following, so you don't have to do all the fancy stuff. You just pick out the template that you want and put it here. Or for example, here's the picture that I showed originally. Give it a second, and there it goes. Now this image is a little too small. I'll have to, okay, that's better. I don't know what that was about. So okay, I think the page has a mind of its own, but let's go back to this one here. Ain't it always like that? Let's go back. Let's do this all over again. Thumbnail. Pick out the one that you want. And I'll pick this one out. Yeah. Alright, so let's pick this world image here. No, I'll go back with the original picture that I had. Okay. Gotta love to. Why does it keep doing that? Okay. So, I guess I have to resize this to fit the way I want it to. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that. So let's go here and let's pick a different template, shall we? Maybe we can find something that's not giving us as many issues. Alright, let's try this one. Alright, and let's go to our pictures. I don't want the globe there, I want it in the background. Yeah, so let's stick with this one. So what I'll do here is say Antioch Baptist Church. My stream starts at 10 a.m. and that's a little run on. So let's change the font here. Let's drop it down just a little bit. And I like to put this message because a lot of people think that people are trying to turn everything into an e-church. It's not that we want to encourage people to stay at home. It's just that if they physically can't be there, here's another tool to be able to reach them. Or if you have people in sick and shut in and they're not able to get there, never think that live streaming is trying to replace church, because it's not. It even says in the scripture, do not forsake the gathering of others. You know, we need to collaborate, but then there's sometimes, because of the nature of how our world is, how job schedules are, travel, business, whatever, everybody can't be there. And this is a tool that's used solely to be able to reach those who are looking, as well as your church family if they happen to be away. So I like to add this little comment in. If you cannot join us physically, join us online. So that's, if I had more time, I'll probably make something a little nicer and more professional, but you get the idea. Then after that, I click on the little download button, pick PNG or JPEG, either one. PNG is a higher quality. Click download. My image is there. Now I'm gonna go back to my social in here, and I'll actually use this. Upload, where did I download it to? I picked that one, and then I'll save changes. So now that's how I made my my image. So I'll go ahead and upload that and save, and if I refresh, we should see the new image. There we go. So that's all scheduled, and if I go here, see it's blurred out here, but if I refresh on our church website, I don't know why the internet's going slow. As you can see, it's blurred out, but that's the new image. Alright. And one last time, we can go ahead and check homepage, and it's done as well. Alright, so that's one of the first things that I do. Now the other thing we do, we also do a podcast for our church service, and I just recently am using an iPad for a different venue of my business. So let me actually do this. Let me see if I can actually find this. As you can see, I don't use Apple stuff that much, but I want to look for, not store, browse. No, not music. No. I want to look for a podcast. So anyway, from a podcast standpoint, we actually do a podcast as well. And I want to try and find it. Oh, there it goes. Alright. That was like a pain to try and find. So now I haven't looked on our podcast in quite a while here on iTunes. So let's see if we can find, and there we go. There's ours. Might want to update our logo here in a second. But this is our podcast. As you can see, we've been doing this for a while, and it looks like I did not upload last week's. And that was the issue on the 26th. Alright, so let's walk through that. Alright. Hopefully I don't think I deleted that. I hope I didn't. So what we do is I'll go back here to our website, and I'm going to do last week's as well as set up for this Sunday. So we go in here into podcast, and yep, it wasn't done. So we'll go ahead and make a new podcast. We go back to our spreadsheet that I talked about, that we keep all of our services here, and it was called this. So let's go here, copy the name, and then our normal format is we do the title, the person who spoke. Now all of this is actually in the spreadsheet. I could copy it, but I'm just not. Scripture, I will copy that. Change that font to 2, and then come in here, add audio, sermons, and then in tags I'm going to put who also is speaking. Alright, so I'm going to save that for right now, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this Sunday. On the speaker, the date 16/18, scripture, sermons. I'm gonna add the audio, change this to 2, and now I'm significantly helping out whoever's supposed to be in the running the booth. It might actually be me. I'm gonna be up there today, but you just never know. Alright, so that's the format of that. But what I need to do is actually go and see, do I have last week's sermon? And I do not. So I need to make it. So y'all are going to see in reverse what I normally do to actually do our sermon stuff. So this was the sermon. Let's go ahead and download that. I don't need the best quality because I'm just ripping the audio off of this. Now, back in the day, I actually used the software Sony's Sony Studio. I can't even remember the name of it. It's been so long since I have used it, but that's what I used to use to do all my video editing. Sony Vegas, yeah, the Sony Vegas suite, that was it. But I have since migrated for the last 2 years over to Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve. Really like that, way more powerful software. It was a learning curve, but really comfortable with it now. And a lot of the stuff I don't use anymore, but for the suite I still use the DVD Architect if I happen to be making a DVD, which reminds me, I did make a DVD for someone last week and I need to burn those Sunday. So mental note, AJ, take this with you to church and burn this. So if I need to make a DVD, I still use DVD Architect. That also does Blu-rays if I happen to do that for a special event. But then they also have SoundForge. SoundForge is a nice program used to make the audios for my podcast. So my video is downloaded. So let's go here to SoundForge. And I'm still going to use the spreadsheet. This is why this is so important to document all of this stuff. So inside of here, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the file that I just downloaded. Takes a second. It's building out the track information. Alright, and as you see, it has the video, but I'm pulling that out. So what I'm gonna do is, let me pull my spreadsheet up here. So I have all this information. I can actually, let me close these because I don't need these for right now. I don't need the social media page again. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is inside of here, let's go to save as, and I'm gonna call this actually the date first off, 09/09/2019. Then I'm gonna do custom. In here, ID3 settings. This is where I'm gonna do the title, and thankfully all this information is already carried over when the file was made. So yay, I don't have to do this. So we're just gonna go ahead and click OK and save. It's gonna save this as an MP3, extract it all out. Now again, we're gonna do this live, as hence this video is live. I do not know how fast this stuff is going to show up on iTunes, because if we go here to iTunes, as you can see, the last one was the 2nd. So we're going to go ahead and release this again. Why does this have a monitor here? This is new. And iTunes is locking up on me. Oh well. Alright, so we're done with that. So let's go back to the web page now. Now I'm going to go back to the original recording here. And this is where I did the placeholder for the audio. Go ahead and click edit. Edit the audio block. And now on audio, I am going to upload the recording that I just made. So let's sort this. That's the 9th. Give it a second to upload. And let's see if iTunes has not locked up on me. Well, it's still locked up. So let's just close iTunes and let's open it up again. Alright, we're still in podcasts. I do not know why it's doing that. As you can see, I used to put times in here, but that was just one extra step. I guess I was just being too lazy to try and do it. And I mean, all it really is, let's go here. Alright, so that's the recording. Now you can add a column here that gives you the time. So that's 25:15. So let's just, for the giggles, let's go ahead and add that. I actually didn't add it because it was one extra step I didn't want to have to give my folks to do. Alright, so I don't know why all my font changed. Oh well. Alright, so let's go ahead. Seeing all this new stuff. Alright, let's go back here to edit. And now it's uploaded, and I should have hit this before I hit save. So now we hit publish. Now it's published. So now let's see. I don't know how to refresh this. Let's see how long this takes. Alright, let's search one more time. Alright, now the other thing is our podcast actually also goes to Google Play. So let's look there. Alright, so podcast. Let's look at the same name. There we go. And so it hasn't updated yet. Yeah, still got some time, so it hasn't updated yet, but it should be done here in a little bit. So that was that one. Now, what's the next thing that we got going on? So we did our podcast. We have our live stream set up. Now, what else do I have? I mean, we have PreSonus set up. Normally I get the email in from, well, let's just go ahead and check it. This is our media ministry email, and I'll be honest with you, this is one thing I just put out there. With all the technology and how stuff is changing right now, I know a lot of churches are on budgets, but this is one thing that I try and do here, is to try and tell you about tools that are free that you can use, that don't cost you money, that would help. What you could do is go to Zoho.com, and Zoho, you can set up a free email, especially if you already have a website, not Facebook, but if your church has a website, but you have people in your ministries using Gmail, Yahoo, or whatever for church communications, you can go to Zoho.com and set up a free account, and you can get 25 free email accounts with your domain. So for example, we used to have a lot of stuff of like the Learning Center at gmail.com or something like that. Now we can have all that, now the Learning Center at your church's website. It makes it look a lot more professional. Unlike my tank top with the taco meat showing. Hey, I'm being comfortable. It's super hot here. Sorry about that. So anyway, that was a kind of a squirrel moment where I jumped off, but that's what this is. Originally we had our email, we have everything now through Zoho, so we have multiple email accounts for different ministries. This happens to be the media one, and this is an appointment that we have set up on our website. And let me go back to that so you can actually see, and this actually makes things a lot easier from our media ministry standpoint, because we used to have a lot of, I don't know if there's any other media ministries out there, used to have issues where people would randomly ask for different things from the media ministry that in short notice that we really weren't prepared for. So what we do on our about page, we have a media services page set up, and this is built in, comes in free with Squarespace with our level of account that we made. You can come in here, and I built this form of all the services that we currently represent. So I'm gonna say I want to play a YouTube video this Sunday, and I think I have a cutoff time of how early they can submit it as well. That's why is that one so much longer? I have to look into that one. But anyway, I'm just gonna say 110. Now I put name in. Providing a YouTube link, and I'm gonna say I want to provide my Spider-Man video game playing. I want to share that. Yeah, that's what I want to be shown in church. Just want to show you how this stuff works. Alright, so here's my link, and I'm just going to paste the link there, and I'm going to create an appointment. Alright, it says it's too close to the time. I need to see why I have it like that. Alright, so my appointment is scheduled. I can add it. This is if somebody else is doing this. They can add it to their calendar, whatever. Now, if I come in here, now that would be the appointment because I set my email address to the same one here. But this is what comes in. And if I go to our calendar, it didn't integrate. Huh. Let me go back here. It's normally supposed to import these, but let me go to our old calendar. This is our Google Calendar. Like I said, we used to have our Google accounts as well too. So yes, it imported there. I haven't finished the uploading, but anyway, in our calendar, people, whoever can make an appointment, request whatever services for the media ministry, and then they're embedded here. All the information that's needed for the time, what is going to be done, is embedded here in your calendar, and nothing else really needs to be done. And the idea was, we were having an issue from a media standpoint to where communications would go to just one person, and that one person, being human, might forget about it, and then they happen to be the person that's not there that Sunday, so no one knows about it. So the idea is we drive everybody to the website. If they want to request anything, they do it through this form. It comes to the email. Everyone on our media ministry has access to the email, so there's no excuse that you don't know about it because everything is there. That's just one of the tools that we used with our website that helping streamlining the stuff that we're doing. Alright, now I can't do this right now without some heavy modifications, but maybe I can turn the camera a little bit so you can see. Give me 1 second. Let's switch over to the other camera here while I adjust the other one. I thought I was supposed to be on the Canon, but I was wrong. Sorry about that. I still got the DVE settings on, so you got me. Now you're gonna see how it was supposed to be on this camera, but let me switch back to it now. So this is the other thing I'm excited about that added to my studio, but I also have this in at my home church. This is the Hyperdeck mini studio. So I'm not recording right now, which I actually should have been doing, but how this works is pretty much a digital VCR. I have a bunch of 128 gig SD cards, 2 of them, and it rolls over, and I am coming out of my ATEM with all my cameras embedded here. This comes out, this records, and then this goes out, and then the output of this is what's being live streamed right now. So this is just a recorder in between. This is the same thing that was installed in my church recently, because we had some technical issues and something broke with our old recording method. Our old recording method was we were recording directly to the computer that was with our old ATEM that had a USB cable going directly to it. For whatever reason, there was a storm, electrical outing, something. For whatever reason, it was working perfectly fine for 3 years, and then now the recording just was not being consistent. I don't know if it was a technical issue. I don't know if it was the most recent update of software on Windows side or Blackmagic side, the company that makes the products, but it just kept having an issue. So since we couldn't record and we kept having some problems, this is the alternative. And now this is the recording from last Sunday. I don't think I erased this, and I need to actually label these because I have 5 of these personally myself, and I don't want to mix these up with the ones I have at church. So let me remove these here. I know I have some gaming stuff on some of those, so let's see what's actually in here, because this will actually, the way I have mine, it will actually play back through my ATEM as a source as well too. So let's switch over to that, and I need to queue up a clip on here. Alright, so this is why I need to label this. So this is mine. I'll set that right there. Let's try another one. See if I got the right one here. And there's nothing on this one. That's right, I'm acting up. I forgot, I went to the church earlier today and I actually put the card, the old one, at the church already. So all of these are mine, so I don't need to really worry about them. I still need to label them. But ideally is, out of the editing stuff that I do here, I literally just come home, take out one of these SD cards, and I edit off of that, and they're fast enough to where I don't have to copy everything to my computer like I used to. Even though I have the space, I just don't have to do that anymore. Alright, so let me see. This is what I was showing is this is a finished video that I think I did off of this one, so let's see what this.
Attention, all units be advised. Reports of snipers targeting police officers. Report came in from Clint.
As I warned, Nostradamus-like, after Spider-Man recklessly took down Wilson Fisk without preparing for the consequences, our streets are now filled with aspiring gangsters, each trying
Here, and let's actually go here to my desktop so you can actually see what this is. That'll be PC number 2. Here's an ATEM that I'm using to control all of this, and this is how I was controlling the hyperdeck, because how it connects under here, it's just picking up the IP address, and that's how it's controlled here remotely. And if we go to the hyperdeck setup software, inside of here, as you can see, I am set to H.264 at high. Have a whole bunch of other codecs. At church, I actually have to use the ProRes proxy because I can't use. I found this out today. I can't use the